Hey, I just had a great conversation with Kate about cooking without power, cooking in the dark. So I'm literally in the dark right now. So let's put together a dish. And when I'm thinking about putting a dish together when I don't have availability for fresh produce or I don't have the meat in my fridge has gone off because we haven't had power for 72 hours, I look to the pantry. And what do we all have in the pantry? Well, hopefully you have some beans. I usually have some in there to make a chili, but it doesn't have to be for chili, so we can put together a fairly elegant dish using just pantry items. So I'm just going to put together kind of a bean salad with tuna. So I've just taken some random beans. I've got some white kidney beans, red kidney beans, chickpeas. Use whatever beans you have in the can from your pantry. Put them in the bowl. So I use about 3 cans. And then I'm just taking some of the stuff I have around. So, I like artichokes. So I have some artichokes. I think we're going to post a recipe after this. I talked about red pepper. To be honest, I couldn't find red pepper this morning in my pantry. So I had some sun-dried tomatoes. So chop that up, gonna put it in to the bowl. I mean, we're starting to build a really kind of almost Mediterranean style dish with pantry items. Then simply to give it flavor, we're gonna make a very basic vinaigrette. So oftentimes when making vinaigrette, I would normally put in some shallot or some garlic to start. Considering we might not have those available to us, just start with about a tablespoon of mustard. So it's a pretty hefty amount of mustard, but it's going to give a lot of flavor. Then we're going to add in some vinegar. So about 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to spice mine up a bit, and I'm going to add in a little bit of chili flakes. So, I like heat. So you could probably put in a teaspoon, a little less if you're feeling like you don't like spicy. I tend to like spicy, so I put a little extra in there. And there we go, Now all we have to do is to make a vinaigrette. That's going to be our flavoring agent for this dish. That over top, we're going to toss that up, and in 1 minute, we're going to come right back and plate that. Okay, so I've tossed the beans with some artichoke, a little bit of sun-dried tomato, but if you look at the recipe, it'll say roasted pepper. You could add roasted pepper, you could add just crushed tomato, would add a nice little sweetness. I then added a little bit of capers just to add a little salty element. Put it on a serving platter, topped it with some tuna that was packed in olive oil. I tend to prefer tuna packed in olive oil over water. I think it retains its flavor better. And then now, if you happen to have a lemon, great time to squeeze a lemon over top. If you don't, you can add a little more red wine vinegar just to bring it out. But, the rule of thumb is taste with your spoon, adjust after. So, add a little more salt, add a few more capers if you need more salt, or add a little vinegar or lemon juice if you need a little acidity. Other than that, you got a pretty healthy meal that didn't require any cooking. We're no worse off here. As you might have noticed, I cut myself in the first bit of making this recipe, but hey, that's the dangers of cooking in the dark. Anyway, great meal. Hopefully you're all doing well, and we'll see you soon on Wined and Dined.